and started increasing the difficulty level of CSAT. And for the last 2 to 3 years, correct me, Rishi sir, if I'm wrong, the standard of questions asked in CSAT, we can safely assume is of the CAT level. How should an aspirant prepare for CSAT? How significant is this subject, is this paper?
And I do believe, sir, that if UPSC actually has changed the pattern, it has to do a lot with the thinking that students have, that we don't need to prepare. This is just a qualifying exam. How can you think that a paper should be qualifying also and then it should be easy also? You cannot ask for two things at one time. No?
If you have an engineering background, if you have maths background, or if you have been good in humanities when it comes to English comprehension, for example, you will have to invest relatively lesser time on CSAT as compared to others who have never been exposed to such questions in the past. This timing, 9 to 12 p.m., is specifically tailor-made for those who are working professionals, who will come back from office and delve deep into the world of CSAT. Hello and welcome to Unacademy, a one-stop destination for the English medium civil services aspirants. Joining us today is India's topmost educator for CSAT, Rishi Bhargava sir. Rishi sir, appreciate your joining us. Although sir needs no introduction, but allow me to share something with all the aspirants. Rishi sir has been guiding the CSAT aspirants for more than a decade now. He has taught at prominent institutes, both offline as well as online, and has guided lakhs of aspirants in the civil services examination. Appreciate your joining us, Rishi sir. I want to know about your course that you will be launching on the 14th of September on Unacademy. To all the viewers, Rishi sir has joined us to take charge of the CSAT preparation of the civil services aspirants. Rishi sir, what about your course? In how many classes would you be completing your course? Apart from your classes, is there a need for students to follow any other source for CSAT preparation? All that you need to share with your aspirants, please let us know. But before that, I'll interrupt you and I will share something with the aspirants. CSAT, or Civil Services Aptitude Test, was introduced by UPSC in 2011. Initially, the marks obtained in CSAT would be counted, and that would determine whether a candidate would qualify for the mains examination. This is where the controversy started. It was alleged that the pattern of the examination is such that it is biased in favor of the urban candidates, those who are fluent in English language, because there was a dominance of English comprehension type questions in CSAT. It was also alleged that the pattern of the examination is such that it is biased in favor of the engineering graduates, keeping arts, humanities, or science graduates at a distant second. That's how then, 2015 onwards, CSAT was made into qualifying. All you need to do, score 66, and then the marks that you obtain in GS paper would determine whether you're going to appear in the mains examination or not. This is where the students made mistakes. They started taking CSAT for granted. Why? Because if GS determines whether you're going to qualify prelims or not, then why should we focus more on CSAT? But then UPSC, Unpredictable Service Commission, turned the tables upside down and started increasing the difficulty level of CSAT. And for the last 2 to 3 years, correct me, Rishi sir, if I'm wrong, the standard of questions asked in CSAT, we can safely assume is of the CAT level. How should an aspirant prepare for CSAT? How significant is this subject, is this paper for a success in the civil services exam? Rishi sir, your initial thoughts.
My greetings to all of you. Thank you so much, sir. Wonderful to have you around. That's so awesome. Unacademy is world's and India's best platform, and I'm very happy to join Unacademy and train students for CSAT. Yes, sir. Civil services aptitude test has been a real pain, and it started in 2019 actually. 2019 onwards, the standard of paper has been really good. But then, I do understand that if you see all government exams such as CDS, SSC, Bank PO, every exam started changing the pattern after 2018 and 19, because a lot of coaching institutes were actually, treating all the exams as trick exams. So if you check out SSC also, if you check out Bank PO also, CDS also, the level of paper has increased immensely. Now UPSC is a premium body, it's as good as it gets, and they want to hire best in India. And when initially they started, exam was absolutely good, not as tough, because they were also testing, and it was not as such maths friendly as generally people say. So and a lot of people thought that English comprehension is something that can be easily managed by English students, or maybe art student. So things have started changing since 2019, and 22, 23 and 24 were absolutely those papers that cannot be done without having an expert guidance. And I do believe, sir, that if UPSC actually has changed the pattern, it has to do a lot with the thinking that students have, that we don't need to prepare, this is just a qualifying exam. Yes, it is on the pattern of CAT. Most of the questions they are actually giving would actually be picked up from kind of lower level CAT questions, meaningly difficulty level of CAT questions is very high. That would be a CAT level question with 50% less difficulty. But the astonishing fact, I don't think that students generally understand the value of PYQs. Now, before inception of CSAT, 2011, before 2011, UPSC would used to ask aptitude questions in the GS paper. There used to be 25 to 30 questions. So now this is a fact that I'm saying it on screen. 2008 May, there were 4 questions that were directly repeated in 2023 exam. Wow. So at that time also, level of the paper was very good. So they are expecting people to understand, good level mental ability, good level of mental ability. And obviously, sir, if you aspire to become an officer, you need to have good mental ability, because definitely it reflects you have good IQ. So now, 2008 paper questions are in 2023 paper. That reflects that, at that time also difficulty level of aptitude was as good as it is today. They started initially with a very, kind of a okay paper. But once it is qualifying, sir, how can you think that a paper should be qualifying also and then it should be easy also? You cannot ask for 2 things at one time. Na? Say they made it qualifying doesn't mean that they make it easy as right. So this is the whole concept. Now the things have been changing. I have been training a lot of students for past few years, because students take CSAT really they take it properly, that no, we have to get an expert coaching, and it has nothing to do with maths background students. Yes, there is an advantage that they may understand better, but as such they haven't done this kind of mathematics in their 12th class, in their graduation, in their post graduation. No, it is not at all true. Yes, engineers have an advantage because they sit for placement exams. So if they sit for placement exams, they have already prepared for aptitude. But again, astonishing fact, in 2023 I had 28 students from IITs and NITs in my offline batches. Only 8 could clear that paper, 20 could not. So it is something to do with, because they don't believe that engineers can only solve it. They could give good questions on reading comprehension, they would get good questions on reasoning, and they would test each and everyone equally. And
also, sir, the point that you, sorry to interrupt you, the point that you were making is the students need to focus on previous year's question papers, and also the students should focus on how to complete the question paper quickly, because we have had interactions with a lot of students, they were unable to complete the question paper, and that requires a lot of practice to begin with. Without practice, it becomes difficult for you to qualify this qualifying exam.
Sir, in this paper, it's one full paper, GS2. right? So GS1 paper, people, practice day and night. They get 600, 700 hours of classes. So if I say this is GS paper 2 and you have to at least have one third, in that case 600 ka one third is 200 hours. So at least you have to have 200 hours of practice. And then it is very different from, GS paper 1, because once you have taken the classes, after the classes also you have to solve the assignment. You have to get the problem solved. Till the time you won't solve the assignment, you won't be able to get through that. So it's totally different preparation from GS1 paper. That is where students actually struggle, because the UPSC aspirant tag comes in. So the point is, they're making notes of history, geography, polity, economics, everything. And that standard thing is that they would open up those notes in maybe February or March and go through the notes, but not with CSAT. And the mistake that students make is that they generally join CSAT batches in the month of February or March. Then they have no time to practice. No time
You
to
have
practice.
already answered my question. I was about to ask you, when is the ideal time for a candidate to start practicing CSAT, taking CSAT seriously? But you have already answered it. But sir, would it be fair to say that the amount of effort that a student has to take in CSAT, invest in CSAT, would vary from student to student in terms of your background? If you have an engineering background, if you have maths background, or if you have been good in humanities when it comes to English comprehension, for example, you will have to
Mm.
invest relatively lesser time on CSAT as compared to others who have never been exposed to such questions in the past.
Obviously, sir, if you talk about engineering students or math students, then they would come up with one argument that we have to do history, geography, economics, right? And polity, and then social justice, and so many things.
No, but
So
I
I
was
don't
specifically asking for CSAT. For CSAT, at least there has
For
to be a.
CSAT, sir, it is surprising to know that most of the students who join early are engineers. They're smart. They know what are their weaknesses, right? They would join early. They will get through the course, solve problems, and get back with the problems, and that's it. So in most of my batches, genuinely telling you, the early batches are joined by engineers, and the later batches are actually joined by people those who are actually struggling to make it. So maybe in the month of December or January they would join it. So probably I believe engineering and doctors, they have that that kind of curriculum during their engineering and during their when they're trying to be a
Medicine.
doctor, MBBS. So they have that curriculum that keep on working, keep on working, keep on working, because they're tested every week. So the best part about preparing for CSAT is that weekly tests are really important. So if you appear for a test, one test in a week, or probably one test in 2 weeks, that actually solves a lot of problems. And then classes should be accompanied by problem solving. In my classes in 3 hour batch, what I've done is that 2.5 hours of session, and then half an hour of problem solving, so that students can interact and solve their problems and issues. So
I'll
that is
come
how
to your
I've
course
done it.
in due course, sir.
Mhm.
Sorry to interrupt you there.
No problems.
But as an aspirant, how can and when can I be sure that now my CSAT preparation is over? I don't need to focus more on CSAT. Now I can go back to GS.
Sir, I believe they should start with this September batch and finish up the CSAT classes by the December. And then, they start appearing for testing. Regular testing should be there. And that is how this preparation should be. Till the time of your exam, you should have already done that syllabus. You should have already solved the workbooks, and you should have appeared for at least 10 to 15 tests. Then you are sure that now things are going to be okay.
And if
Now
in
we
these
don't need
mock tests
to.
I'm able to score 100 plus, then I can safely assume that I'm on the safer side. I am going to qualify CSAT.
Sir, I must admit to you that the paper is so good. We have tried making test papers of that level, but believe me, that level is something else. In terms that they test engineering students equally, so they give some questions that are very relevant for art students as well. Reading comprehension passages are all about economics, current, environment, which is very friendly for a lot of art students and non-mathematical background students. So we are trying our best, but every year they come up with something amazing. So hats off to them. I really appreciate that paper, because we have to solve it instantaneously, and it's really tough for students to sort it out in 2 hours with the pressure, time, and a lot of circumstances, like people are preparing for 2 years, 3 years, so a lot of pressure comes up with that.
That's where the role of an experienced educator like you comes in. You may also guide students as to how exactly do you solve this question paper in real time, keeping in mind the exam pressure. What are the areas that you can focus on? You don't have to necessarily complete the question paper.
That is the reason, sir, most of my classes would be accompanied by a lot of polls and a lot of MCQs. So without that, I don't think students would be able to even understand that then time is the issue. And when you see that out of 80, you have to get only 27, 28 questions. So students do generally tend to relax also. But then, once there is a pressure of time, probably, classroom also helps. So my course would have a lot of polls, a lot of MCQs, and I make it sure that you have to do all PYQs. All PYQ solutions would be provided to the students along with the course. There would be worksheets, workbooks. So that data-wise, infinite data would be provided to the students on the unacademy community, so that they don't feel that you have to go out and purchase something. So probably I believe that if they start in September, by the end of December the course ends, and the real pain CSAT ends in December, so they are ready for GS revision as well as CSAT testing.
Let's delve more into details regarding your course. And for those who are watching this program right now, if you have already enrolled in our Liberty batch, then Sir's CSAT course is part of it. You don't have to separately enroll in that course. If you are not an enrolled student of Unacademy, consider Unacademy IAS English as a one-stop destination for all your civil services examination preparation needs. Sir's CSAT course, apart from that, my polity, and we have a list of teachers who have been guiding civil services aspirants for more than a decade when it comes to subjects such as geography, history, economics, ethics, so on and so forth. So our intention, our endeavor is to make Unacademy IAS English a one-stop solution for all your requirements, whether it is prelims, mains, as well as the personality test, whether it is current affairs or CSAT, whether it is taking charge of your mock tests, whether it is prelims test series, mains test series, and you're also aware of our initiatives that we run frequently. For example, the Conquer Prelims that we launch just before the prelims exam, the Conquer Mains that we launch, which is ongoing right now as part of those students who are attempting Mains 2024. Rishi sir, talking about your course starts on the 14th of September.
I what think 16th of September. Sir.
16th of September. On 14th of September, there is an orientation program that you will have to take.
Yes.
What will be the duration of each class? What are going to be the timings of this class?
So the duration of each class is going to be 3 hours, and it would be 2.5 hours of session, and half an hour of problem solving session every day. And the duration, I think timing of the classes is really amazing. 9 p.m. to 12. That is the time when most of our young generation are fully awake and fully active. So evening 9 p.m. to 12, sir. That's
and to tell our audience, this timing 9 to 12 p.m. is specifically tailor-made for those who are working professionals who will come back from office and delve deep into the world of CSAT with Rishi sir. Sir, apart from your classes, tell me honestly, what should an aspirant follow? Do they need to follow any other source? How do they practice? Because when we were designing the curriculum, Rishi sir made an interesting request. He said, we will have classes only 3 days a week, so that for the remaining 3 or 4 days of the week, the students can focus on practice. The students can focus on the worksheets that sir would be providing. That's something very, very interesting. And that is keeping in mind the students' interests as well as their requirements. So 3 days classes in a week, 3 hours classes, 2.5 hours for content and half an hour for discussion. What are the other highlights of your course, sir?
So if you see the feedback of the students in previous years, so most of the students generally find that the questions actually come from the notes. So the notes, that classroom notes, are really important, and the content. Otherwise, also a lot of students ask me, a lot of teachers ask me, which book is sufficient for CSAT preparation. So there is no one exact book which is sufficient. So we have designed our course, putting in mind that PYQs actually play a big role. So the course actually goes along the PYQ structure. So
Hmm.
that is how we have made the worksheets as well. So the worksheets would be given to the students. Once the worksheets are done by the students, this is one full workbook that is there for the students. Other than that, there are other assignments. So it is up to the students to demand. If they demand, we have a very unique set of questions. It's called 100 question assignment. So every chapter has 100 more questions. So if you want to practice other than the worksheets, so every chapter we have designed 100 more questions with solutions. So if they want to practice extra, we'll provide that as well. PYQs would be provided, so you don't need to go to the market and purchase the PYQs, because that is something that they have to have with them. Then Unacademy platform has all PYQ videos, YouTube videos. I have recorded those videos. So though we are providing PYQs solutions, but the way you have to do it in the exam is something that students need to know. So those videos are available to the students and they can go and check it out. I have recorded all PYQs, sir. So all PYQs are already recorded on the platform. So that is also an advantage. And I do believe that half an hour is really important. And then, after 3 days, they need to practice those workshop workbooks, and then they need to come back with the problems. So that is why I have taken that, if you make it 6 days a week, sir, most of the students with arts background and commerce background would struggle, because
Hmm.
they won't be able to keep up the pace
Right.
of the course, because it is huge in terms of delivering 9 hours of classes a week. So thank you so much for that as well, sir, because I just wanted it this way only.
No, it completely aligns. Our intention, endeavor has always been student first. Whatever works for the students' interests, that's something that we will do. And in fact, that's something that we have told students as well. You tell me, what do you need to ace this exam? And with hand on my heart, we will provide you.
Thank you so
Uh,
much, sir.
but then
That's something really amazing.
students will have to work hard. Students all the time keep demanding notes, but then I would want to know whether they are reading the notes or not, whether they are following the notes or not. uh, and this is where I don't know whether I should say this, but let me say this: there is a limited role of a coaching class, whether it is offline or online.
Yes.
We may provide good quality content, we may provide top quality lectures, notes, test series, but ultimately it is for the student to appreciate it. It's for the students to continue attending these classes and make it a religious routine to attend the classes live, because there is a difference between attending the class live and attending a recorded class. And that's why I would urge students, when Rishi sir would take CSAT classes, please ensure that you are attending the classes live so that you can interact with the faculty directly and get your doubts resolved. Is that a fair request, sir?
Yeah, absolutely fair, sir. I'm very happy with one more aspect. I think you just hit the nail when you said that even working professionals would have time to watch these classes, because the timings are so good. So I wish that students take advantage and they practice and they conquer this paper. And obviously, I always am very particular about one more aspect. UPSC takes time. Obviously, it takes good average 2 years sometimes. So if not UPSC, then also you are preparing yourself for good exams like CDS or state level exams, or maybe SSC, bank PO. So CSAT preparation is good. I generally tell students that preparing it well is always good. You always have RBI exams, or even RBI exam has aptitude of the level of CSAT, and then they have a paper of economics. So if you are a good aspirant, you can easily clear RBI exams as well. So that is one aspect students should always keep in mind, that if you prepare well for all aptitude tests.
Thank you so much, Rishi sir, for your time. And thank you all the students who are watching this program. And lest you forget, sir's course starts on the 14th of September. It will start with an orientation session by sir, where sir will provide the blueprint of his entire course, the structure, how and when has he designed the course pattern, how many classes for quant, for reasoning, for English
Yes.
comprehension. That's something that sir will explain on the 14th of September. And the real classes will start 16th of September. The timings have been communicated, 9 p.m. to 12 p.m. This is keeping in mind the interests of the student community, particularly the working professionals who are in large number attending our English Liberty batch. Thank you so much, Rishi sir, and
Thank you, sir.
thank you all of you for joining this
Thank you so
program.
much.
And
Thank
if
you,
you
learners.
like this session, do not forget to press the like button and subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet, and share the links of these classes with your friends and fellow aspirants. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you.